Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So, I'm out of Facebook jail. Um, so, all right, glad that was only for 24 hours. So, it occurs to me that what if January 6th was really nothing but a dry run here? Wait, okay, we have to think about this. Even if this gave the people that were invading the Capitol a lot of information that they didn't have before. Such as, you know, they had to know, we know that yes, their activity online, on Parler and right wing sites, so forth, was monitored. We know. There have been independent analysts and journalists that warned that this was coming. So, why did the government allegedly not know? They did know. They absolutely knew. So the question was, even if you have the blueprints, the layout of the Capitol, well, there's information that you don't know. Like, okay, the government knows what you're planning. What is the response going to be up front? Well, now they know. If you have the blueprints, it does not tell you what kind of security, uh, you know, systems they have in place, such as electronic doors. Um, you could have automatic tear gas systems in certain areas. You get a large number of people into a certain place, you turn on the tear gas. Well, does any of that exist, or will it be implemented? Now they know. What are the Capitol Police orders regarding use of deadly force? Now they know. What are the escape routes for the House and the Senate? Now they know. So, there's a lot of talk that this is going to happen again, with varying dates being thrown around, January 17th, January 20th, what have you. Well, with the most fanatical people, what information they gathered on January 6th, this allows them to organize better, to plan for any response. Oh yeah, another thing. What is the timeline and the likelihood of bringing in more forces, other police forces, the National Guard, and what is their response going to be? Now they know. But I don't think it was planning just on one side. It took moments, for Biden to come out talking about implementing, okay, not moments, but hours, for him to talk about implementing a domestic terrorism task force. This was planned. This was planned. Biden was just looking for an excuse to put this in place. the Patriot Act was almost entirely written by Joe Biden and had been voted down in, I think, 1994, something like that. But then after 9/11, almost word for word, his plans were implemented and incorporated into the Patriot Act. It took mere days for the government to come up with this massive bill that we call the Patriot Act. There was no time to write such a bill. They just revived what had already been planned to take away, American rights. So that led to where we are with mass surveillance and, everything you do. If you check out a book from the library, the government knows it. You buy a book on Amazon or from a local bookstore with your credit or debit card, the government knows it. Everything you write or say online, the government knows it. They don't read or listen to all of your phone calls or your emails, but they have certain trigger words or phrases that are being watched. I'd love to see how many of those triggers I set off in a single day. But yeah, imagine if you buy a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook. You think you're not going to be getting watched? Really? By the way, I've had a copy of that for decades. I have a rather interesting bookshelf. So, I don't joke around when I say the government's been watching me for years. They absolutely have. So they're looking for an excuse to knock down my door. So, one of these days, I really believe it's going to happen. I've been dealing with that for so long, I just accept it. And it's not going to be fun when it happens, but it's not going to be a surprise. And for many of the people that I associate with online, it doesn't matter how violent or nonviolent you are. That's not what makes you a threat. What makes you a threat is whether you oppose the authorized narrative, whether you question things, whether you associate with other people that question things. We are the threat. But at this point, we do have to question, what is the bigger threat to the American people? Invading the Capitol? Well, guess what? The president's office is not where the president, not in the Capitol. The office of the president moves with the president. Right now, Congress does not have to be physically in session. They could very well implement virtual meetings, which they honestly should. So invading the Capitol would just be invading an empty building. It would not cripple our government in any way. There was talk about these people seizing laptops and so forth when they invaded the Capitol. And, that's a massive security threat. Really? I can set it up so that a computer can be locked down or erased remotely. So how is this a threat? Our government can't do this? I don't consider that a threat. I think that's all theater. I know this is all theater. I have worked for the federal government, and if you are off of a federal government computer for 5 minutes or so, you have to enter this complex password uh, all over again, and it would take a supercomputer freaking years to crack that password. And you have to change that password, I don't know, every 2 or 4 weeks. Yeah. So this is not this is not a threat. You hit what? If there is a threat, you hit one button and it locks the computer down to where you have to enter the password all over again. I'm sure if they close their laptops, it locks that computer. And, they could have, biometrics built in as well. So you've got to use a fingerprint to open it up. So even if you've got the computer, if you don't have the fingerprint, you're not unlocking that computer. So this is all bullshit. This is meant to make you afraid. It is meant to make you emotionally react so that you approve of more censorship, more civil rights, more human rights being taken away from you. So what's going to happen in, the next, 6 to 9 days? That all depends on our government and how they respond to all of this. As far as this stuff about Parler being taken down, I don't really approve of that. I don't approve of an entire platform being taken down. Yes, I think that incitement to violence and things like this should be moderated. But that's a hard thing to do. But we spend billions a year, billions, on security for our government. And this is the result? This is the result? No. And I've said that, multiple people died on January 6th, and another officer, one more officer died after the fact, and then another one committed suicide this weekend. This is a tragedy. So in that respect, this is absolutely not theater. But it is theater as far as what the response was. This was both sides feeling each other out and seeking out an agenda. It was a dry run for the right-wingers that invaded the Capitol to find out, what they can do at a later date. It was a dry run for the Biden administration and the government to justify taking away more of your rights. So, all this talk about removing Trump from office because he's so much of a threat, because he is a fascist. You're giving, right now, they're planning on taking more of your rights away. And that's not fascism? No, this is absolutely fascism. Silencing entire platforms, taking away your freedom of speech, and who knows what else. What is coming? Well, eventually the response is going to be more people rising up on the right and the left as more rights get taken away. The interesting part of that is that this could very well unite the right and the left because of the loss of our rights. Anyway, share this video, talk about these subjects. While you still can, talk about these subjects. And if you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And I'm going to have to start looking for other platforms just in case, at least to duplicate things. All right, and I hope you have a good day.